someone on the Twitter account was like, I enjoy BROverwatch for slightly shit gameplay but good talks. It's like, well, fuck you too, Greg. Fuck you.
Thanks,
What is the
Greg.
gameplay?
I don't know if that's his name, but
Like, what
it's
possible
a
benefit
name.
could that be to anybody?
Being good at this game.
Oh, I'm enjoying that chopping in the background.
It's really
can you hear
good.
that?
It really adds to verisimilitude. Hi, this is BROverwatch. I'm not Carl. Carl is taking a little sabbatical, but I am Jamie Drew. I like Overwatch.
Hey, how's it going? I'm John Partridge. I am back on Overwatch. I now have an Xbox again, and I am happy.
Hey! Hell yes! What a guy! How was your time away?
Oh, it was brutal.
What did you
It was
learn
brutal.
about
I had
yourself?
like PlayStation. It was the worst.
That's
I'm joking.
the worst
I'm
thing
joking.
I've ever heard.
It was fine. It was fine. It was good to like just not play for a little bit, and just have a little bit of a break.
Yes,
So this is this week's
I once
podcast where we
tried.
have again no aim. So this is going to go either really well or really badly, and I am absolutely fine with that.
I like that we've officially started
okay.
calling it a podcast in an attempt to stop people trying to follow the video. Because so many people have gone to me like, I really struggle following the game, and I'm like, what? There's no narrative.
That's
There's
literally
no
true.
story.
Yeah, I can't
like
really
we're
fault
not
them
trying
on
to subtly build like a multi-layered narrative here.
that. How was your week been, Duncan?
I think it's been good, more or less. I now have I think I just about to start a new job the last time we recorded. I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah.
Either way, I've been doing that job for a couple of weeks now, and it's very nice. It hasn't quite got to the stage of responsibility where I'll work out whether I can't do it, but I think, like, I can't imagine anything's going to crop up. So far, it's all been very sort of nice and gentle, and everyone is very polite, and have a lot of the traits that I value in people. So that's been
Nice.
very good.
Would you care to
I
explain
do
some
not
of these
value
traits?
this fucking Torborn. But yeah.
Mate, no one does.
A nod to the game. Oh, it's not a Torborn, it's a Bastion, but he can still fuck off.
It's the same thing, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, but I am in the unfortunate bit where I am, because I wasn't paid. I was working for 5 weeks, but I wasn't working in the same way. So I still have some freelance checks to come in, but other than that, I'm on my 7th week of non-earning, which is starting to become very harrowing. So that's fine. But that'll sort itself out soon, he said, in theory.
Yeah, hopefully.
With nothing really to back it up other than a wish and a wink.
JP, how about you? How's your time been?
I've been okay. The past week I've been kind of ill. Like had a day off work and
Oh, really?
it's been like splat. I've been had a flu.
That we had
cold-like
that.
symptoms.
We had that,
And it was
and a
just-
lot of people have had that. So many my plans this week
Yeah.
have been cancelled because
Yeah,
it's just going
exactly.
around.
Like we didn't have you round last week because
Yeah,
you were too ill.
Because
yeah.
and that was a Halloween episode of Well Done
And
Everyone.
then the following Monday, I just felt like death.
I'm sorry,
and
now we
yeah.
gave it to you psychically. My couple of weeks away from BROverwatch has been alright. I have various professional things going on that are quite good and exciting. I'm a finalist in a film competition. So I've been well, but mainly JP, you mentioned you were making some steps.
Yes,
Last
yes.
time.
That has been a little bit on pause because my the person I'm like talking to and getting help from and stuff has been a bit busy and stuff. But I've sorted some stuff out. I got an appointment on Tuesday. It should
Amazing.
be fruitful, and we'll see. We'll get what happens.
I'm proud of you, man. What spurred this on, if you don't mind me asking?
Just a lot of people. Well, a lot of you guys like talking about stuff, and also like Rach and stuff has been supportive and just being like, hey, it'd be good to talk
It
to
is.
someone.
It is
just,
time.
just doing it.
Just doing the thing. Proud of you, man.
I also finally sent off my form to get therapy sorted out, which is very exciting. But oh my god, that fucking that form is insane.
Yeah, what the fuck was
I
that
had to
thing?
fill in what my childhood traumas were. Which
Oh,
is,
all of them? Because I feel like I would not have enough paper.
I whittled it down, and I didn't go into detail. I was more just like, look, here are the cliff notes.
Yeah.
Here's some stuff you're going to ask me about anyway. And it's stupid because, it essentially seems to have been like, presumably the first session they will try and bring up like one or all of these things. And it's like, I only filled them in because I'm like, I do not want you to like reject me on grounds of not having enough trauma. But like it very much feels like that was, well, no, but it might be. I don't know what their things are. It's one of these things where they say this could take months.
They want to keep the numbers up, so they're like, can't help this one, so fuck it. Yeah. That's what you're thinking? Because I think there's a lot. Like,
I think this happens to a lot of people.
When I think about, I don't know. I'm not going back to therapy anytime soon. Like, I'm the outlier here now. That's largely because I've had it, and I don't know. I don't know if I particularly found it helpful.
There's an amazing fight happening outside my window. I don't know if people can hear this.
In real life, or?
Probably not.
What kind of fight?
My area is one of those ones that really enjoys firing fireworks at each other. So it's entirely possible one of those just connected.
Last night, I was hearing fireworks at literally like 5 a.m. And my thing was like, I don't sleep. What's your excuse? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's 5 a.m. It's too late for a school night.
Why at 5 a.m. is that the thing you want to do the most?
It's deeply weird. Deeply, deeply weird. So, JP, what do you expect out of therapy? Like, let's see if we can set some expectations here.
I don't really know. From what I can tell, it's not strictly like therapy. It's just more like just running through like a selection of kind of like exercises and just talking about stuff. Like, not like, I don't know. That's the thing. So I will find out.
Like more like counseling, it sounds like.
I don't know if it's going to be strictly that really either. It's just kind of what's the stuff that you can do online and like self-help kind of stuff.
Good question.
I can't remember the name of it. We can cut this, by the way, because it's not good content.
No.
I'm still 90% convinced it's CBT, but then maybe it's not.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't really work out for me for various reasons. Largely because, like, when I was having really bad panic attacks, it was situational based, and it's kind of impossible to recreate that specific situation, which was a kind of medical one, in that kind of setting. But that doesn't mean that it's not gonna, work for everybody.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, part of me doing it is just to kind of just see what kind of help is available and how it can be beneficial to me.
For sure. Like, and has it been difficult for you guys so far? Like, I know things aren't great in the NHS right now.
I don't know. I mean, it's been quite straightforward so far. Like, I just kind of like sent them an email being like, "Hi, I am interested in the service," and then they got back to me. I had an appointment literally down the road at the local doctor surgery, which is literally down the road from me. So it's super simple, easy. And I just show up at a time, and then just have like I went for like an initial assessment kind of thing, and that was like half hour, quite straightforward. And then they got back to me a couple weeks after, and
wow, that's quick. That's real quick.
It's not too bad, but I don't know how it compares to other services because I haven't tried them. But I think it's I'll see how it goes, and if I don't think that is like
that's all you can really do, right?
Good, then I can try somewhere else. They can refer me elsewhere, like,
or they can fuck off.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I'm just interested in seeing how it's going to go, and I think it's just good to kind of just get some help.
It definitely is.
Mine's been pretty bad because it keeps like breaking down basically. So like some major thing will go wrong, and then I'll have to like start the whole process again. So I've technically been like trying to get it for 3 years, but there was a long 2 years in that where I just wasn't even trying. But yeah, there's just stuff like, so, you have to fill in the form online, and then you have to call them up and do another thing over the phone, which is also, like, really horrible. And, like, they seem to make it as unpleasant as possible in an attempt to stop you, like, everyone doing it. So you have to describe like very bizarre stuff over the phone, and then they send you like a form that you have to fill in, which is extremely long and extremely graphic, which is like so obviously meant to put off as many people as possible, because they know that like a lot of mentally ill people won't want to fill in a form, so they're just like, oh, that's good, then they won't even try, and that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Which is so bad, because that's people who actually need help, who are not going to be able to get through, and it is definitely just to keep down numbers. C'est la vie.
I mean, for me, just kind of just seeing how straightforward this whole process has been has kind of just made me think that it's like I know there is a lot of problems going on, and how that like not everyone can get a lot of help quite easily. But I found this quite straightforward so far. But I'll see how it goes. And at the moment, I would probably recommend.
It depends on what they're putting you forward for, because I think that there's definitely some levels of it that they will.
Yes, that as well. Completely.
Because when I went in for like group, that was much easier, but group did not work for me at all. And they still keep trying to get me to do it. It's just like, I don't know how many phone conversations I have to say it was the worst possible thing for me before someone will go like, I should write this down on his little profile here on the database.
Yeah, because they they offered me that I could just do one-to-one sessions to run through some like self-care kind of like techniques and stuff like that, or I could do it in a group. And I was just like, yeah, doing stuff in a group just doesn't really sound beneficial for anyone, really.
Yeah,
it's beneficial for people who shouldn't really have been in there in the first place a lot of the time.
Yeah. I have never had group therapy, so I don't actually know what the experience of that's like, but I get the ethos behind it.
There are way more people than you would expect. When I went, there were like 30 people in the group, which is obscene. When I went along and there were like 30 people, there were so many people that when they had to do the actual discussion stuff, they had to like break you into groups of 4, which just seems like completely counterintuitive to the whole thing.
I mean, I completely understand it from like a point of view of like that.
Yeah,
well, yeah, that's the thing, because like everyone's short-staffed, so it does allow them to see a lot more people. But
yeah, that is a huge thing.
It's just group stuff's not going to work for everyone.
No, that's the thing. There's no one-size-fits-all thing, I think, and this is kind of part of the problem, because it's all kind of graded by that as well. Like any kind of discipline like that is kind of, you have these standardized tests and scores, and while that makes things easier on workloads, and there's very good reasons for doing it, therapeutically, it's not always amazing. But that doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't, I sound like I'm really down on this stuff, but it's not that at all. Like, I'm very much pro get therapy, generally in life. Get some help, because everything sucks.
Sure.
But like the methodology, especially in this country, is kind of flawed, I think. Like, it's, so again, it's been a few years since I worked in these fields, but like a lot of it is just kind of like, I had to do a lot of referrals and things like that, and a lot of it is like, well, he scores this on this test, and she scores this on that test, and things like that, which kind of gives you a nice like overview of how things are. But
you still have to do the anxiety testing, which they mark you out of like 25 or something, and I'm just
there's problems there of like self-reporting, like you've been doing, Duncan, which
and it only does you for the last like
almost
2 weeks, which is like obscene, because
that's bizarre. It's so bizarre.
It should be for the last 6 months.
And again, there's reasoning behind all this stuff, but that can be quite opaque to somebody trying to access that.
One thing I find really strange is that the options are not like, because it's sort of done on a 5 scale out of 5, but the options are like almost never, every few days, lots of the time, and then like almost all of the time or something. It's not exactly those wording, but it's pretty much like this. So like, there's no option for every day or like no days. And it's only in the last 2. It's like, what exactly information are you trying to get from this? It's very odd. But I did get nice high numbers, so I felt good about that. Even in this bizarre flawed system, I think I've managed to come across relatively like.
Shit.
But like, the thing about self-reporting as well is that people don't know themselves as well as you think they would. Like you say, you found it difficult because it said, didn't have options for every day or never, and they never do. There's always some kind of bias, which we never really talk about, which is an interesting one. Like, even if someone is administering a standardized test, there's always going to be, like, the idea behind them is that they get rid of that, but that never quite works. That's not how human beings work.
Oh man, how has your sleep been recently?
Fucking terrible. Me and Duncan went to an all-night movie marathon and it's never quite recovered.
Oh my god, maybe that's why I can't sleep.
I had a really, really bad sleep last night where I didn't sleep. I just kept having like really like I was like stuck in like REM sleep, and I just kept having really vivid dreams, but I wasn't actually asleep.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I was like dreaming and in a very light sleep, but I wasn't actually sleeping. Like I know I could open my eyes and like see out the window.
Uh-huh. That's deeply odd.
Yeah, it's happened to me before, but it doesn't happen on the reg. It happens when I'm like, I don't know, I was hungover yesterday and just kind of just
Yeah.
feeling really crappy. So I don't know if that participated, but it was very weird.
I'm very proud of JP for seeking out help and therapy, which is not a thing that men do very often because of toxic masculinity and so on. I personally find asking for help very difficult, even though I'm a 21st century man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much of the mentality of like, if I have a problem, I can try and fix it myself. But this is something that I generally just, I need a hand.
I have some objections to you being called a 21st century man, considering you would have needed to have been born in 2000 or later. I don't want people to think I'm making a podcast with a 17-year-old boy.
Do you guys ask for directions? This is like a really specific thing that's like a cliche about men.
No,
but now I want to know.
I have Citymapper.
I have Google Maps and Citymap. Like, no, but sometimes I will if it's like if I know, like, for example, I was going to visit you, Jamie, and I was like, oh, where's the Sainsbury's?
It's across the road from my house.
Well, there you go. That's all I'd ask. I wouldn't like Google Map that because you know it better than me, and it's local. That's the only time I would ask for directions.
That's true. What about if you're like lost in like a new place? Because again, this is a thing like I find difficult because I feel like I should be able to like, I'll be fine, even though I know my sense of direction is the worst.
Yeah, but asking people for help is the worst.
I mean, yeah, that's a crossover
Especially
with
strangers.
talking to people when you don't have to do it by law, which is the only time talking to people is fine. So no, so get back to the point. What was I saying? Oh, so I preferred counseling personally to CBT. Largely because, like I said, like CBT wasn't particularly helpful specifically to me in that time when I was having it. Counseling, I think it was just like the first time I'd ever had that opportunity. Just like, and now I will let all my feelings go at the same time, and I am crying. It is that cliche of like the man just sat in a chair across from me and watched me talk, but I personally I need that. I think just that space to kind of unpack a lot of stuff and have essentially a wall to bounce off of, and that's how I solve problems now, I guess, which is quite
By building walls.
I had to construct a wall, and
The most northern thing I've ever heard.
It's a whole to do. To get the stone and the building permissions, it's just a whole thing.
Therapeutically tedious.
Yeah, but it is therapeutic. It's worth it. It's worth every penny and day of my time. I find.
Excellent.
Yeah, build the wall, yell at the wall. It's like having an alt Twitter account. Just it's yelling into the void. But yeah, no, like there definitely was that element of like shame. Like, oh, I'm a pain in the ass. Now I'm so. I don't know. Like, it's a difficult one to unpick. So I think this is like a societal thing. I think as boys, we are not conditioned to ever ask for any kind of help with anything, really. That extends to directions and that extends to things that will come back and bite us in the ass mentally. And it's stupid. It is stupid, but it's not a thing that we're ever going to be able to fix. I think, at least not in the foreseeable. As three people alone.
Oh, I thought we just fixed it.
So, yeah, definitely we did just fix it. Actually, yeah, no, never mind. Sorry everybody, we did fix it. This whole thing's obsolete now. So that's us. Like, I'm trying to do what Carl would do, which is like, that's been another episode. But you know that. You already know it's been an episode of
He's a
BROverwatch.
consummate
There was a
professional.
title card, and I spent a lot of time on it. And, you know, frankly, if you didn't know, then I've not done my job, and that makes me very sad. But I've been Jamie Drew.
I've been Duncan Michael Brown.
I've been JP.
Carl is away for a little while. He's taking a little sabbatical. We wish him all the best, but until he comes back, there will be no wisdom in this whole thing.
No,
This
we are
is
not wise.
a wisdom-free show now.
You should
A
not be
lot of
taking
this is
any-
largely just to drive him crazy while he's away.
You should definitely not be taking anything we say as advice, but even less so.
Even less so now.
Even less so than usual.
Carl will be back when he is ready, and at that point it will be good. But it will be good until then. So we've got some great people lined up to come and talk about their own stuff. We're gonna get it deep with some people we barely know. It's gonna be great.
Getting deep with people we barely know. I thank
Yes.
That's what Duncan calls a Thursday.
you. My life
I
is
don't
a
know why.
miserable series of on-brand.